And we are live. We want the gold, sucker. We want the gold, sucker.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Ben Goosen coming at y'all today with your boy Sage Mark. What up, Sage?
Goose, what was that? Is that like a triple remix or something, man?
What happened?
Bruh, you on some type of delay, bruh.
What happened? Did I mess something up?
Bruh, what's going on with our feed, bruh? We getting hacked?
You can hear me, right? Oh, snap. See, look, this is the YouTube feed. This is me listening to the chat. Caught me slipping. Caught me slipping because I tuned into the chat to see how the chat's going. I forgot to turn the volume down. What, did the beginning track sound funky or what?
Oh, man. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. We're on a loop feed.
You can hear me, right? I can't see you. Your camera's not on, man.
What?
You don't want me to see that beautiful face?
No.
I'm growing out my beard so I could be like you. So because your beard is weird.
I'm still getting, bro. I'm still getting loop feed.
Really?
Yeah.
What? You sound just fine. What is it? Like an Xbox? What am I getting? Echo.
Nah, it's like repeating like 5 seconds in the past. Everything.
Are you sure you're living in the present? Because my present's
Are you Twilight Zone, man? Like seriously, bro.
Yo, what? Okay, let's kick off the show this week. I know it's 5 seconds in the past. Ignore the video for a minute. Ignore the video, but you can hear me clear, right?
I can hear you and 5 seconds of you from the past every time.
What does that mean? Welcome to the show, everybody. We're talking about
time this travel. Is freaking me out, bro.
We're talking about time travel. So when we do the show, we do it over kind of the equivalent of Skype. We do it over Google Hangouts. And yeah, what up, Stephen Thatch in the chat? You sound good here. Yeah, I know I do. So you explain to me this paradox, this time travel world that you were living in. Awfully quiet. See, now you mess with me.
Like, dude, I'm literally hearing you in my. Hold on, check it out.
No,
did you hear that?
No, it sounded fine to me. What do you have? The like some. Do you have headphones in? Oh, you don't have your headphones in. That's what it is.
No. I took my headphones out so you could hear it.
That's shenanigans, bro.
I'm gonna slip out. I'm gonna slip out and slip back in and see if it resets.
Let's do that. I'll go ahead and kick off this week's show. So what up, everybody? It's your boy Ben Goosen coming at you. We got a busy show today, a real busy show. Real busy show for the fans. We had a busy week. Saturday, we kicked off Saturday, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 3 a.m., 6 a.m. if you're here in America. We kicked off with the Super Showdown. We're going to get into our recap on that. To me, it turned out to be nothing but a glorified house show with no, well, I'm not going to say no title changes because we'll get into our thoughts on the Super Showdown in Australia. I thought the show could have been better, but we'll get Sage Mark's opinion. We also have the UFC. Conor McGregor, boy, got dusted. I'll tell you, that fight looked like I could take Conor McGregor in a fight. Can I? Probably not. Why? Because my cardio was like Derek Lewis. If y'all saw that, you know how I felt. Dude got beat up 4.5 minutes. One in the last 30 seconds. Now he's getting a title shot. And then we also got Monday Night Raw. What a crazy Raw. This week's Raw was like we were coming off of a main pay-per-view, one of the big 4 pay-per-views. Going into SmackDown, we got some stuff outside the ring. What else do we got? We got some stuff. Sage Mark actually has a real He's got something. He said, you know what, Goose, I want to talk to you about something. And I said, well, what do you want to talk about, man? You doing all right? And this was before the show. And we do a quick setup. We don't go in before we set up and say, hey, let's talk about this, 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 and this. We just say, hey, you know what? Sound check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm living in the past. I'm living in the past. I'm living in the past. Yeah, you thought that was an echo, didn't you, Sage? Sage is back with us.
Yeah, I know you was trying to play with me. I figured out what happened, man. I figured out what happened.
What happened?
Check it out. When I do the pre-show, I always I go into the live viewing room where Stephen Thatch is right there in the chat, and I pop out the chat room so that way I can close the window, so that way when it goes live, the video doesn't start and I hear exactly what it was that I heard. So that remix was all in my head because I had the live feed going on the delay at the same time that we were recording. So, that was pretty trippy, but that was pretty funny, man.
Little technical errors. Well, we got
technical area.
We got a busy show this week, but we got a packed show. So
yeah, we do.
Let me ask you this. I was texting you on Saturday. I know the answer to this, but let's let the fans know.
Yeah, man.
Did you wake up on Saturday morning to watch the Super Showdown at 5 a.m.?
Hell to the nah, bruh. I had to get some sleep in. You know what I'm saying? I woke up at like 5:30 to go watch it.
I wanted to wake up. I wanted to watch it. I wanted to be a true fan and say, you know what? I'm going to get up at 4:45. Nothing would beat some coffee and some wrestling, some pancakes, some waffles, some breakfast, bacon sandwich. I'm an Eggs Benedict guy, and some wrestling. Or if you're one of the young cats or the cats who could handle it, you stay up all night. You party all night. You get your drink on. You stay up all night, drink those Monster Energy drinks, do all that good stuff, and stay up all night. Stephen Thatch,
girl, to my hotel. No? Oh, my bad.
Well, let's get into the Super Showdown. I want to start off there. That was a horrible... The show was bad. That was a house show. I got the vibe halfway, 3/4 away through it. I thought, wow, titles aren't changing. Couple DQs. Becky Lynch kind of retained. And based off SmackDown, they're obviously going to continue that feud.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought, you know what? I think after one or two matches, I realized, you know what? A title change is not happening tonight. I was wrong, but I'll get into that in a sec. But none of the quote-unquote main two shows had title changes. And the highlight of the night was supposed to be Triple H in the Legends match, Triple H and The Undertaker, and the big heel turn at the end of the match. But that was not the best moment of the entire card. So do you talk to me about your thoughts on it and what the best moment of the entire card was for you?
So I would kind of disagree with you first off. I kind of said it from the beginning that I thought this was going to be a glorified house show. And you make an interesting point because a lot of people who crapped on it were the same people who were complaining when Starrcade didn't air on the network. So like if we're wanting to have these house shows we got to recognize that they're house shows and not true pay-per-view events. Otherwise we shouldn't complain because these quote unquote special house shows are not on the network. So kind of getting that out of the way. I liked it, man. Best show of the night. I mean, the best match of the night had to be Cedric Alexander versus
by far Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy. It was everything that I thought it was going to be. It spotlight 205 Live and how it's changed in the last 6 to 7 months since the new regime has taken over behind the scenes. And I mean, it was Aussie. Like all the Aussies won this weekend. Can you believe that? All the Aussies won this weekend.
Yeah, the ladies. Yeah, I'll definitely give you that. I think the highlight of the night truly was that was a match I was watching. I was like, damn, this is a good match. Oh, I wish, man, I hope people appreciated that match. That was a great match. It's going to lead to a great rematch. Cedric let Buddy go over, however you want to put it. I'm not saying he put him over. That Buddy didn't deserve it. It was just a great, great match. You saw that great moment for Buddy Murphy. And Man, Cedric, he's going to be on the main roster eventually, right?
Who's Cedric or Buddy? Because they
Cedric.
both. I think Buddy, Cedric, and Mustafa Ali could eventually make it to the main card.
Who of the three? Who has the best mic skills?
Oh, Mustafa Ali has the best mic skills out of all three of them, man.
Now,
Hands
where would you put him on the main roster on a 1 to 10, 10 being a Miz? Where would you put him on the mic skill scale?
Probably around a 7, 6 or 7.
Okay. Who's a 5 or 6?
On the active roster right now?
Yeah, would you say
I'd say Carmella's a 5. I would say Roman's a 5, maybe a 6, probably a high 6.
Yeah, because he knows how to work the crowd and the hate.
Yeah,
so that's what I'll give Roman. Jinder's a solid 4 or 5. Would you say?
It's kind of hard to say with maybe a low 5, high 4, low 5. It's kind of hard to say with him because he garners heat, and in every match he has, and he's not bad of a. He doesn't really mess up his words when he's talking or doing a promo itself. It's
so we can give him a 5 then, since he doesn't butcher stuff. So we'd say Bobby Lashley's probably a 1, right?
Yeah, he's like a -1, bro. He don't even talk, man. I don't remember the last time I heard him talk.
Well, we'll get into that.
Yeah,
because it proves our thoughts. So I think Cedric Alexander, if he could, I don't know how good he is on the mic. I just know he's great in the ring. So I wonder if some of these 205 guys will get called up. It'll be like an NXT. Like once they lose the title, if they're truly, truly good enough, and they look like they could have the size to compete, then they will get called up. Because Finn Balor is the same size as Cedric Alexander. So I think that Daniel Bryan, like there's definitely room to call some of these guys up, which would be awesome. So do you think that that's the future of 205 Live?
I mean, I don't think that's the long-term plan, is to get these guys to get to the main roster. I truly believe that they're trying to make 205 Live like its own brand, to kind of replace Superstars, which usually ran before Raw.
Oh, good call. Good call.
So I think that instead of doing stuff like that, they're just trying to make an actual brand for everybody. And I mean, I'm down for that. I like 205 Live, and it's got a following. I mean, you go,
it does,
on Wednesday night, you do the hashtag 205 Live. It gets good enough. I mean, it's just like it's like NXT in terms of it has its own fandom. It's not main roster worthy or main roster popular, but it's got its own cult following.
Yeah. So Super Showdown wasn't that great. It was good seeing the legends in the ring. I finally got to catch the match. You had texted me and said it's exactly what it should have been. And I agree. It was some pretty brutal chair shots by Taker, but I think what was nice is we had the heel turn at the end, because that obviously set up for a future match at another glorified house show, which is the what are they calling it? The Greatest Showdown?
You're talking about the Crown Jewel?
The Crown Jewel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
I appreciate the content WWE has given us, but
yeah. So I
do our
agree.
reviews.
It's definitely a segue into the Crown Jewel, and I was wondering. Well, I'm having some reservations on whether or not the Crown Jewel is actually going to happen in light of recent events. I'm not sure if you heard what's been going on this week in terms of Saudi Arabia. And
I have not.
Okay, so just kind of just a reminder, guys, we're not a political show, so we'll kind of tread lightly in terms of.
Yeah, we are.
In terms
Kanye was at the White House. I'm a Kanye fan now. I'm a Trump fan, and Kanye and Trump got a new album now. This is a real political podcast.
So allegedly, the Saudi prince allegedly put a hit out on one of a American journalist, who I guess he was born in Saudi Arabia. He covered Saudi Arabia. He worked for one of the United States magazines, and he's very critical of the prince and his regime. But apparently he went to Turkey to get some papers signed at one of the consulates, the Saudi Arabia consulate. Footage showed that he went in, never came out. So there's this pretty big speculation that the Saudis had him unfortunately killed. And this literally happened between like Sunday and Monday. I think the guy's been missing for like a week or so, and it just came to light that the Saudis might be behind it. So my question is, from a business aspect of it, and it seems like the market's kind of taking a hit on the WWE stock. I'm not sure if it's direct relation to it, but it kind of seems like that. What do you do in this situation? I mean, this is a international incident now, and a pretty big one at that. Do you, as a company, pull your event from happening, or do you go on with the show? Is kind of what I wanted to throw out there to you, Goose.
You go on with the show. They got paid. They got a lot of money, and a lot of money equals a lot of security. So WWE got paid a ton of money, to go out to the Middle East. The Middle East, especially when unfortunate stuff like this happens, they don't want something happening in or around a major WWE event where you have, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70,000 people there. Because that's just another stain on the country, and the check has already been cleared to the WWE. So security be beefed up. And I mean, it's a common question. Leaving America to go to Saudi Arabia, you're probably going to have questions around security. So I think WWE should go. Beef up security a bit. Do what you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of thinking of it myself, and just the whole thing. I don't think they should go. I mean, set it aside the whole women issue and them not being able to wrestle. I think it's just a bad look overall.
Why though? What am I missing?
Because the prince is the one who got this whole thing started for them to go, he basically orchestrated the WWE to show up there. Paid, like I said, paid the WWE to be there. But as a stockholder, I'm thinking that, once this gets wind, which I'm surprised the news media hasn't even picked up on it yet. I think that once we get closer to the event, it's going to happen. The stock prices is going to start taking a tank, man. That bad news is just going to come wilding in, and the prices of the stock is going to go down. I don't think it's the right move as a shareholder. But that's what I'm thinking from a business aspect of it. It's not a good look.
Well, we'll see, because WWE stock is soon to be close to tripled this year. So,
like I said, it dropped 5 points. So I think it was at 94. It opened at 94, and midday it was like at 85. So, we'll see. I mean, it's something to keep an eye on, man. But
yeah, I never heard of it.
Yeah, it kind of got me thinking. What would you do in a situation like that? It's one thing if it's a local incident, but it's another thing if it becomes an international incident between two countries, and the company that you're about to invite over is a pretty big American company. So
yeah, no, this Prince, he'll protect the WWE, especially if he's got some heat underneath him. Now let's get into let's get into Saturday night before we get into Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, man.
Did you watch the entire UFC card?
I did not. I actually fell asleep, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but I did. But I did watch
you.
Yeah. I wasn't even going to front, man. But I did watch the main event, man. I did watch the main event.
So I got to say, before the main event, there was two great fights in somewhat. Derek Lewis versus, oh man, I always pronounce his name wrong. I think it's Alexander Volkov. Yeah, Russian guy.
Is that the one with the Donkey Kong punch?
What, the finish?
I think it was like the Donkey Kong punch to the chest, and then he not countered, but then he like hit him again with a right hook, and dude went like night. Yeah.
Yep. So
that was pretty sick.
Derek Lewis got beat up in the heavyweight division for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And he did what he does. He all heart. Props to him. Super heart, man. Never gave up. Threw that right hand, connected, and finished the dude in the final. What came to be close to, I think, 10 seconds left in the third round. So I'm sorry.
He got his ass beat and he came back and won with one punch?
Yeah, he got beat up. I'm sorry. I said 4 minutes. 14 and a half minutes. And he landed that one punch KO in the end and knocked out homeboy. Won, and now he's fighting Daniel Cormier next month at UFC 230 for the heavyweight title.
What's this business about his genitalia being hot?
Oh, it was great. So this guy, I think he's gained something like 1 million Instagram followers. Joe Rogan said, you got one of the best Instagrams in the business. He wins the fight. He's clearly gassed. And what's awesome is he doesn't fake it. He takes his UFC shorts off. He takes his pants off, and he's just wearing boxers sitting there in the ring. And, of course, the announcers are like, what are you doing? What's this guy doing? Especially because, you got sponsors on your shorts, all that stuff. Like, what's this guy doing? He's just sitting there. Is he trying to look sexy? Is he trying to make a statement? Like, what does this guy do? Is he trying to look – does he think he looks tough just by sitting there in his boxers? And Joe Rogan interviews him and says, man, what a fight. You won with that one-punch knockout power. Why'd you take your pants off? And he said, oh, man, my balls are hot.
No, he didn't, man. No, he didn't.
What up? Yes, Silky Mel. Yeah, you follow him now. We all do. And Joe Rogan said, you have one of the best Instagrams in the business. Yo, there was a video of him on Instagram. His son is giving him a fade, cutting his hair. And he's talking to his son about, hey, don't mess that up. Come up high with the fade. Come on. And his son is like 3-4 years old. But no, he's classic. They've been putting stuff on Twitter all week about the pre-fight and the pre-fight hype. And apparently, not long ago, Daniel Cormier was doing a press conference with Derek Lewis, the Black Beast. And Cormier said, hey, and this was before they were even scheduled to fight. Cormier said, hey, man, Derek Lewis has been talking trash behind my back. He's been talking trash. I saw him today in the back, and he said, man, you're not as big as I thought. And Daniel Cormier's cracking up, and Daniel's like, I don't know why he's got beef with me. Derek, you tell the world, why do you have beef with me? And Derek Lewis said, cuz you said you don't like Popeye's chicken.
Oh, no, man, no.
Yep. So they've been playing that. And Daniel, these guys are trying to talk shit and hype up the fight. Daniel Cormier put
that sponsorship, bro.
Daniel Cormier put his head down and you gotta hype up a fight any way you can and talk some trash any way you can. And Cormier put his head down and started cracking up. Oh, it was great. That fight, the trash talk between them two is going to be amazing.
Yeah, it is, man. So in light of what you just told me right now, man, one begs the question, are they using strategies from the WWE to promote their events, man? Like, is it no longer about the ranking system? It's now just about who's hot at the time and putting them together? Because reports are saying that, Johnny Bones is about to go for another title run out of his suspension.
So I'll fill you in. And what up, Silky Mel Johnson, man? It's good to hear from you in the chat. I think they are going for the WWE angle. And I say this because the Conor McGregor thing, think about it. The UFC is not punishing Conor McGregor at all for throwing that dolly through the window. Khabib Nurmagomedov went out in the crowd. That's in the public. That's lawsuit city. Think about it. If me and you were in the crowd with our wives, kids, whatever the case may be, and during the skirmish, they get hurt, even if we think, nah, baby, you're all right. If ever we want to hang out with our wives at night again, you best believe we're going to be pressing charges again. Or we're going to press some charges. It's bad, but they're not getting punished by the UFC because the UFC, to me, the UFC thought, and I agree with them, man, that rematch is going to make so much money. Can you believe that? The rematch, all we have to do is beef up security, and this whole inside, outside the ring garbage won't happen. Inside, outside the octagon thing won't happen. But yeah, they're taking a play out the WWE's book. You got to have if UFC or boxing doesn't have the entertainment factor. Look at the NBA. Half the NBA is entertainment. Jimmy Butler this week showed up at practice, the T-Wolves practice, but after he's told him he wants to be traded, tells all the GMs and managers, you effing need me, you need me. Goes off on everybody, then leaves practice. Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
These guys is playing straight out of Attitude Era, bro.
No joke.
It's like they're watching it for the first time and like, you know what? We need to go out there and throw out the middle finger and say, that's the bottom line, because I'm going to lay the smack down on you and you ain't going to say nothing because you nothing but a nugget.
Dude, that's what we need. Silky Mel in the chat just said Attitude Era UFC style. We need the Attitude Era, especially with social media where you can cuss up a storm, all this stuff. We need the Attitude Era, not in the WWE necessarily, but in the UFC. What about in football? Okay, your Browns won this weekend. My Dolphins gave up a 17-point lead and gave up a 17-point lead in freaking late third, early fourth. And you know your team's bad when you can give up a 17-point lead and lose by 10 in 17 minutes. You know your team is bad. They need that. You know what they should do? They should let football players be mic'd up so we could hear the raw talk. Let NBA players be mic'd up, put it on Showtime, HBO, YouTube. Just let them. Could you imagine in the NBA Finals, the Warriors and the Cavs, if LeBron and Durant have to be separated from one another at a press conference because they're about to fight? You know what kind of ratings that would get? Steph Curry and Kyrie are in each other's face. They're about to fight.
But does it devalue the game? Like the fundamentals of the game or the sport? Because now it becomes just drama TV now.
What are we talking about right now? Conor McGregor and Nurmagomedov. We are not talking about, man, basketball's about to start.
Yeah.
It is trashy. It does ultimately end up in like, well, that's kind of trashy, but
it's funny because these sports and these fans that support these sports like UFC, especially UFC, they're the same guys who come out, guys and gals, who come out and say, hey, wrestling sucks because it's fake. But but UFC is cutting promos, bro, and half those promos are fake too. What the fuck?
And McGregor's the king of cutting promos. That pay-per-view got 2 to 3 million buys, biggest pay-per-view of all time because of the wrestling hype to it. Pats all day. Get out of here in the chat. Let me figure out a way to delete you out of the chat with the Pat. This Pat talk. Weak ass.
Time
Pats.
his ass out.
Yeah,
look, man. All I'm saying is y'all got nothing to complain about wrestling being fake if UFC is now taking and borrowing stuff from the WWE.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It helps create storylines. Now, speaking of storylines, we had some major changes on Raw this week. Hence the name of the show. This week. So Raw to me was like a post major pay-per-view episode of Raw. Wasn't it? Did you get that vibe?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was decent for a change. I mean, it was actually watchable. And my favorite part of that whole match was that damn battle royal.
So would you say your best part of Raw was the battle royal?
Oh, hands down.
It was good. It caught me off guard. Did you get the Los Luchadores Edge and Christian reference?
I did not.
Oh, Conquistador. My bad. Did you understand that? Yeah,
I did not. I think that they were referencing a time when I stopped watching wrestling, so I think that's why I didn't get it.
So there was a brief period in wrestling where Edge and Christian were still a tag team, and the Conquistadores were coming out attacking people, but they were using Edge and Christian's moves. And Edge and Christian, it's when they were in that silly phase. Edge and Christian would be like, no, that's not me. No, we're not them. We're not them. That's not us. So it was a throwback to them. And nice. I got to admit, I saw that and I was like, oh, the chain German suplexes. And I still didn't know it was Angle once I saw the chain German suplexes. I just thought, oh, okay, whatever.
That's dead giveaway, man. That, and then he did the angle slam. I was like, yo, that's angle. But the funny part is when he hit the angle slam, instead of doing his whole around, like he did his little dance, and I was like, yo, he's doing Kurt Angle's moves, but like he don't look like Kurt Angle, man. What the hell's going on?
Once I saw that, I was like, because I honestly thought you saw the Conquistador sitting outside the ring the whole time. And Silky Mel in the chat, we're going to get to SmackDown 1000 here in a minute. I was like, he's sitting outside the ring. He's going to come in, give Baron Corbin a little challenge, and then get tossed out. Big deal. We'll see how that goes. But once he hit the angle slam and the fans marked out, boy, I marked out real good. I was like, man, that was good. You got me. You got me.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun, man. And the one I think what made this match so compelling was like everyone that was in the ring, like they weren't your average like jobbers. Like they were getting in licks. Like they were getting in licks, and it made it feel like it was a real thing going on. And I mean, they were characters too. I think one of the guys there was a Chicago native. I think I've seen him before, but he has like long horns, but he had a mask on, but I think that he uses long horns or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I think that's what made that whole match compelling, is because it kind of felt like a real battle royal, and then the El Conquistador came out, like he was sitting there, and then that's kind of when you knew. But
yeah,
a good play for WWE, or a good play for Raw to put something on like that. It was pretty good.
A lot of I guess you can call them heel turns and teased heel turns on Raw.
Yeah.
Which one? Do you want to go start with the Bellas?
Yeah, let's start with the Bellas, man, because I'm interested in this for a couple of reasons. Well, actually, I'm only interested in this for one reason, and that's I am now invested in Liv Morgan versus Brie Bella.
Yeah, same here.
I want to see that.
And they played off this week the concussion, with the kicks. They kind of played into the whole thing this week. I like that.
They sure did. I like the whole her dodging the kick, even though it was like way off. But I like the fact that she was dodging it. And then Liv really sold on the outside of the ring in terms of like her hatred for Brie Bella. So I thought that was pretty good. I think that that's the reason why that Trish Stratus match, or one of the reasons why the Trish Stratus match is actually turned into a tag team match as opposed to a one-on-one match with Alexa Bliss, is because I think they're going to add that to the card. Liv versus Brie to the card.
It sells itself.
Yeah. We all call, as far as them turning on Ronda Rousey at the end of the match, we all saw this coming a mile away. It was leaked back in August that Nikki Bella was going to be fighting
Ronda Rousey.
Sorry,
it's going to be a terrible match, right? Is it bad that Rousey? No, and this is no knock on him, but is it bad that Rousey may have to carry that match?
No, she can carry. I mean, her and Nia was great. And,
but she's in the match.
She cared just as much.
Rousey's done great, but she's been on the defensive. She's been getting beat up the whole match. Against Brie,
that's true.
I guess Brie's the heel, so she's going to lead most of the match. But
yeah, Brie,
the Bellas they're good, they're talented. It's great to have them here. But when it comes to what they can do in ring, they've absolutely positively, in today's world, not even been close to top 10. Or in the past 5 years, they're not in the top 10.
I just hope it doesn't close the show.
It won't. No, it won't. Well, maybe because the title's on the line, or it might be on the line. But it'll be interesting. I think that what's good about them two is Ronda's still new to the game. Nikki has never been the best in the ring ever, but they both know how to get the job done and tell that story. You know what I mean? Like they both know the business, so that's going to be awesome to see. So Silky Mel in the chat brought up a good point, and I got to ask you where this is going. About Bobby Roode. Is this going somewhere? I mean, they picked up the W because Chad Gable got the W. To me, Bobby Roode was going for a second rope move probably a blockbuster double drop kick or a missile drop kick. Didn't get it. Got the tag. Gable comes in, hits the finisher. Where's Bobby Roode and Chad Gable going? Because if they feud, there's nothing to it because they're talented guys. One's really good in ring. One's got great charisma. They're a great tag team. Where's this going? I want to know. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Man, I'm sorry, man. I'm distracted. I was trying to look for a milk carton because I have no idea what the heck you're talking about. I haven't seen Bobby Roode or Chad Gable for 3 weeks because I watched the Hulu cut and they ain't making the show or the cut.
Oh my gosh. They're not okay. Nothing you can do about that.
All I'll say about it is this, man. They got to do what they're doing with Bobby Lashley right now, man. They got to turn Bobby Roode heel because he's not worth anything unless he is a heel or he's in a tag team, period. I mean, that's it. I like the fact that Connor and Victor are getting some wins under their belt. It's about time that they're being taken a little bit more seriously, concerning the lack of depth on the tag team division side, credible depth, I should say, on the tag team side in Raw. It's good that they're starting to build up their homegrown talent.
AOP included, especially.
Yeah. But I don't know if at the expense of Bobby Roode, unless this eventually leads to Bobby Roode turning heel on Chad Gable, and then we can finally get the best of both worlds there. But I don't know. I don't know how long that's going to last. I don't know if we're going to even see that in 2018, but who knows?
Yeah, it's tough to say. I don't know what's going on. And where's Jason Jordan? Have I missed something?
Yeah, so apparently Jason Jordan is injured to the point where his career might be over.
Really?
Yeah, so they've been kind of low key about it. There was a report that there's a report on one of the dirt sheets about it. But I've also heard that I think I heard from you, Goose, that he actually writes for SmackDown.
I'm not sure what show it is, but he's doing backstage work. Yes.
Yeah, so I heard something about that, but yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't look like Jason Jordan is coming back to wrestle, which I think is a shame, man, because I think we were all, whether we liked it or not, I think we're all starting to get a bit more invested in him, and to see that he might not be able to wrestle again is kind of a shame. So, I mean, that's that.
Yeah, what a shame. The rest of Raw was pretty good. Where do you think they're going to go with this Dean Ambrose thing? They've been teasing it for a while now.
I honestly, they had a chance to pull the trigger on that, 2 or 3 weeks ago, or made it a slow burn. But they just been. I think that promo that he did last week with, well, maybe I'll come in and knock Roman Reigns out and take his title, or maybe I'll go after Seth's title. That's probably what you guys think I should do. Like, I just thought that deflated the whole storyline for Dean Ambrose, and it's now getting him back to where he was before he was injured. I agree. I'm not invested anymore.
I wish they would have. Here's what I've done. What I've done with Dean, and they did this for a few weeks. Bring him back. He has a great look. Cut his hair. He actually looks pretty jacked. New look, for the most part. Somewhat. He's got some new clothes, all that stuff. The cut up shirt. Bring him, and he's not doing the sling blade clothesline, the bounce off clothesline.
Dude, what are you watching, man? You got a bus that's like going off the cliff.
Shout outs to whoever is watching this live stream right now and can tell me what movie I am watching. Well, I shouldn't say watching. Why, brother? You got to be paying attention to me. Why are you watching? Why are you watching my TV?
You got a bus in the back that's going like off the cliff with kids in the rear. How am I not supposed to pay attention to that, son? What am I supposed to do? Sound the mark out because your boy's about to go off. Ghost, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is supposed to be a wrestling podcast, and we talking about buses going off the cliff.
But I'm not turning around and watching it. You are watching my TV through your laptop screen.
But you ain't exactly turning the channel to football either, son.
Normally I watch football on Thursday nights, but there's something else on. So whoever's checking out this live stream, go ahead and hit me up. Let me know. Either type it in the chat or hit us up at Real WrestleCast. Guess the movie. You are going to know what movie it is here within 5 minutes, I guarantee.
Like Tremors or something, man.
Yeah, right? Might as well be. So with the Dean Ambrose thing, here's what I would have done. Bring him back. I said this a couple weeks ago. Don't talk. Dean used to talk a lot. He could handle his own on the mic, but he goes back to what he used to be originally in the Shield. Not a man of many words, wouldn't go off on anybody. He was just the psychopath, the lunatic fringe. Leave him at that. Matter of fact, once the Shield comes out, beats somebody up and business is done, he doesn't stand around for the fist bump. He just leaves. And it's not like a heel turn or is he with us or against us thing. It's just, hey, I'm about my business. That's the end of it. You don't let him talk. It builds that mystery back around him. You know what I'm saying? And then I think that this feud thing, is he in? Is he out? Could have went better because you'd be saying like, well, he hasn't really talked much since he's come back. What's up with this guy? What's his problem? You know what I mean?
So are they gonna? I get what you're saying, man. I don't know what direction they're planning to go with him, and I think that's why I'm losing interest on it. I think it would be interesting that if Dean joins Braun Strowman,
that'd be dumb.
Well, hear me out. Dean joins Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman breaks away from the War Dogs, and then you have Seth and you have Seth and Roman Reigns, and then you have all three of them feud as tag teams. That, at least for a short time, I think that would be pretty interesting. But I doubt that they'll even go that way for it. So in the end, there's just no place for Dean on the roster.
Well, yeah, he's in an awkward spot. Talented, got all that stuff going on for him. So we'll see where it ends up. So let's get into SmackDown. Let's get into SmackDown. SmackDown was pretty good this week. Actual in-ring content. You had comedy. I liked the Miz. It's kind of, what the Miz reminded me of? It was like back in middle school when two people were about to fight. And one dude would be like, man, you look like a bitch. And you, Sage and Mark, could be like, hey, yo, Goose, you going to let him talk to you like that? You know what I mean? You going to let him call you that in front of everybody here? The instigator.
Yo, the Miz is just on another level, man. I love the fact that he just called out that he has next no matter who wins. Like, I thought that was a G, bruh. That was a G. He was like, let me get this quarter in right here. I'm going to put it on the window. The loser of this Marvel versus Capcom match, your boy's gonna. I got next, son. I got next. No, man. No. You can't put in another quarter. You get back in line. I got next, son.
Yeah, that's how it went down, right?
Yeah,
that's how exactly how it went down. What's up, Mr. Hollywood in the chat? Hey, Mr. Hollywood, I know you got some business going on. Go ahead and promote your channel here in the chat here in a bit. And I got to talk to you about something happening in 53 minutes.
Okay.
So, yeah, Miz was on fire. I thought it was awesome what was going on. What else? What you think about Big Show? Did he please tell me he made the Hulu cut?
He did, but I mean, it was obviously to kind of, I think it was just kind of a sway for having a big man at the royal palace scepter at Saudi Arabia or whatever it's called.
He looked good.
Yeah, he did, and he'll be in the battle royal despite that he lost to Randy Orton. He'll be in there in some capacity. He'll have like a second chance match. The Middle East people, like, they love their big men. They love the Undertaker. They love Braun Strowman. They love the
larger
Big
than
Show.
life characters. That's right.
Yeah, the larger than life characters. So that's all that was, man. I didn't even know we drafted him. I thought he was still on Raw. So
no,
that was kind of a shock to me.
Can I say something? Big Show has the best job in the world right now.
Yeah, it does.
You were on contract with the WWE. I'm sure you're making several 100,000, if not millions, to go to work once every 6 months. And I think he's been healthy as far as I know this whole time. But imagine that. Imagine if you had a job where you could show up once every 6 months and be like, "Oh, it's cool. Don't worry about it. The checks, the direct deposit's still going through." You know what I'm saying? Big Show, man. And now we probably won't see him again for another 6, 7, 8 weeks, or probably till the Royal Rumble.
We'll see him a couple more times, man. He does typically come around during the breast cancer awareness months. Like he's usually a big advocate for that. So I definitely think he'll be the next 2 shows he'll be there. So I like it, man. It spruces up the roster. I mean, we don't now that I think about it, we don't have a big man on SmackDown.
Yeah, and Show looked to be in great shape.
Yeah, so it gives a different dynamic to the show, and it gives the younger talent an opportunity to be showcased as well. So I can't be mad at that, man. Not mad at that at all. I did like the heater match at the very beginning between Charlotte and Becky. That 22-minute match.
Yeah, good way to open up. I was disappointed.
Show just came on, man. Show just came on, and like, ding, ding, ding. We having a title match. I'm like, what?
Yeah, great way to start the show. Straight up, like you said, heat. Bringing the heat, dog. Bringing the heat just like that. I didn't like the ending, but I understand the ending that it's going to lead to, I think, a very clear evolution match, right?
Yeah, they already announced it. It's a last woman standing match.
That's right. Paige
Evolution.
Paige went on to. Yep. That's right. Yeah. Sorry, I was just thinking about the last man standing match I saw, and it was Gargano and Ciampa, and that was a damn good match. What else on SmackDown, man? We had Samoa Joe and Jeff Hardy go at it. SmackDown. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I mean, you're right, man. Like I could not get a breath in on SmackDown. Like it was like match after match after match. There were maybe one promo in the entire thing, and it was just straight up like it was fire, man. Like it was straight up fire, and this is it, man. I'm telling you, Jason Jordan, since he's written for SmackDown, like him and Road Dogg have just been on the same page. It's just been like straight fire, man.
Yeah, it has. I thought SmackDown was a good show. SmackDown has a lot of talent that could work with one another. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's, and I don't mean that as a knock on Raw, but it's just things that could work with one another. So R-Truth has the comedy bit going, but he could work in the ring with almost anybody else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So anything else you want to touch on SmackDown? Because Silky Mel's hitting us up in the chat.
Yeah, man. He like busting through the seams, wanted to talk about SmackDown 1000. Man, you know what? Let's talk about Power Rangers, man. You know what? The Blue Ranger, he really should have been like the star of the show, bro. He should have been the. I'm just playing with you.
No. You need to get the hell out of it. Me, you, and Silky Mel Johnson, who I have met at the shop.
Yeah,
we were all fans of the Black Ranger. Now, let's get into some next week's SmackDown 1000. I'm pumped. What?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this first. This show, Silky Mel, on the live chat again at Real WrestleCast on Twitter. Hit us up on it and just type in "It's Real Wrestling Podcast" on YouTube. We do this live every Thursday night, and then it goes to your Stitcher, Player FM, iTunes, every one of your podcast feeds. Hit us up in the chat. We got a couple live folks in the chat. Yes, next week's show is going to be a blow-off show. Maybe you'll have one title change. Maybe. I doubt it. I know for damn sure Rey Mysterio is not beating Shinsuke Nakamura. But just the nostalgia. It's a nostalgia show. So correct me if I'm wrong. But Raw 1000, was Raw 1000 the one where they did it from 2 stadiums? No,
yes.
right?
No, that was it.
Are you sure where they did it?
No. Was that like 3? It was 3 years ago, right?
No, that was Raw.
That
no, it was last year.
Oh, no, then that wasn't it. It was a 25-year anniversary.
25 years, yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. What was Raw 1000? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. vaguely remember it. I know that King was in it, and that's all I remember.
Oh, come on. That doesn't say anything. That's like me saying, I heard The Rock or maybe John Cena had something to do with it.
Big Red Machine. That's probably what it was, man. The Big Red Machine versus John Cena for the spinner title.
What was it? Raw 1000.
For the spinner title.
Oh, God. What was Raw 1000?
About to do the Orange Justice, bro.
What was Raw? Is that the one where The Rock was on it?
Was he making fun of Lana?
No. Is that the one where CM Punk, like The Rock, was win? I don't remember who he was fighting. Was about to win, maybe a triple threat or a tag team match or something. And CM Punk turned heel on The Rock when CM Punk was going through his title run, but he never main evented.
Nah, I couldn't even guess, man. But what I will say is that if you know what it is, hit us up with the hashtag IRWP and let your boys know, because we flailing right now trying to reminisce about something that we damn know that we didn't watch.
No, because Rikishi was still alive, so I feel like he would have been on it, and and Edge and all those guys.
Rikishi is still alive.
It's the one where Rikishi. Yeah, well, he is still alive. My bad. I was thinking.
Ghost, you grabbing straws, bro. What's up, man?
No, I was thinking of Umaga. Wasn't the one where Rikishi? It's where he danced with the Usos, right?
I thought he danced with the Usos like 2 years ago or a year ago, last year or something.
You don't even know what time zone you're living in these days. You were just asking me at the start of the show, are you in the past or you the present?
Bruh, that wasn't my fault, man. I mean, it was.
It ain't
but
my
it wasn't
fault.
my fault. Did I do that?
It ain't my fault. Listen.
Did I do that?
I think SmackDown 1000. I'm looking forward to Rey Mysterio and Shinsuke Nakamura just for the nostalgia piece of it. I think Edge has been confirmed. The Brothers of Destruction. Shawn Michaels will not be there. But
why Evolution? Like, they was never on SmackDown. Like, why are we getting Evolution and they're never on SmackDown?
I have no idea. I'm pumped about it. Don't get me wrong, because think about it. Triple H, he's a face kind of right now, but he could flip anyway. Batista is more famous than he's ever been, and then Randy Orton's still an asshole, and then Ric Flair.
So you're telling me that this week he's DX, next week he's DX and Evolution, and then the following week he's going back to being DX.
Yeah, so this week he's DX. Next week he probably won't be on Raw on Monday because the next show ain't for a while. So this week he's DX, and then he's Evolution, and then later in that same night when the Brothers of Destruction come back, he goes back to being DX because they're going to talk shit about him. Unless, oh man, okay, so let me know if you'll mark out. What if
I'm about to mark out, bro? I think you're going to say what I think you're going to say, bro. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
What if he is out there, and because Evolution's clearly going to cut a promo, and the Brothers of Destruction come out to take out Triple H, but Evolution's like, nah, it don't work like that.
No, my high just went down, bro.
Oh, all right. Where were you going with it?
We weren't on the same page, bro. Damn.
Well, okay.
Get too old for this.
So what do you think will happen?
I think they're going to come down as Evolution. And then I think Randy Orton is going to snap and RKO Batista. And then say, yo, you Guardians of the Galaxy? I got an RKO for you too. Boom. I'm taking out all y'all's heroes because I am RKO. Let's go.
Guard this galaxy. It would be good if he had a Guardians of the Galaxy reference, right? Drax this.
Yeah, man.
Yo, what if Batista comes out dressed as Drax?
Sophie, we need you to make that shirt, bro. Drax this. There you go, bro.
What if he comes out dressed as Drax? All the kids will love it.
Yo, that would be hilarious.
And but Batista, I don't think he'll get booed by fans anymore because he's like a legit household name these days. Unless like if he came back and No, he won't
They
get
ain't in
booed.
Chicago, so he won't get booed. Yeah, he ain't in Chicago, so he'd be all right.
Yeah, it'd just be cool to see him back. It'll be, and what's nice is it's 2 hours, so it's going to be a busy show. You know what I mean? Something's going to be
Yeah.
happening 24/7.
That's true. I think it's going to be a good show, man. I do. I think it's going to be a throwaway show for the most part. I mean, no storylines are really going to be built from this point on. It'll give Becky and Charlotte a reason not to really show up. Yeah, man. I think that it'll be damn Freddie, dude. You and that Freddie, bruh.
This is, you can't, don't say that. I just told somebody I'm going to give you a shout out on Twitter, give you a special treat if you can guess the movie.
But Silky already said it, bruh. You
Did
ain't
he
even
really?
paying attention.
Did it? Because the conversation got heated.
Silky was all over it, bruh. No. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll give a chance for people to, like, people that are main on the roster to kind of have a step back. Like, I don't foresee AJ and Daniel Bryan, which without the Miz, I'm thinking about this. Without the Miz being there, like, their promos are going to be terrible. You pick the two worst people. Like, I'm glad these two are fighting for the title. Don't get me wrong. But from a promo aspect of it, they can't carry the promo between themselves. Like, you got to have the Miz carry this promo. That's why the title needs to go to Miz. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it can. I mean, yeah, it can. We'll see how it ends up. But you're right. The promo and the hype behind it, an AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan match is not in the mic. It's just in the.
It's in the match.
These guys are going to give it all they got. Now, this is what I was dreaming about this week. Shawn Michaels is officially coming back. When he announced that DX is back, you have no idea how bad I was sitting there thinking I would love, even though it's on Raw, AJ Styles music to hit. And for him to tell Shawn Michaels, no, if you come back, there's nobody that you fight but me. Drops the mic and leaves.
I got next.
Because I think part of it is us wishful thinking that that Shawn Michaels can still go. We don't know if he can or not. Hopefully, he doesn't look. This is bad. He doesn't look as cringy as The Undertaker or Kurt Angle in the ring. And that's the thing, is we don't know. We all think, man, this is Shawn Michaels. He could do anything at any age. Dude's well into his 50s. There is no like, well, he's about 43, 44. He's probably got this. No. Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, these guys, shit, I think Triple H is even in his mid to high 40s. But they do. I'm curious to see what can go on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't have I think the long game is Shawn Michaels, AJ Styles at WrestleMania. I think that's the reason why Joe doesn't have the strap. I think the strap is going to be between Daniel Bryan and The Miz. And then we're going to finally get an AJ Styles versus Triple or HBK. I think the pop test was back in March when AJ kind of floated the idea about them two fighting.
But the thing is HBK's 53.
Yes. But he's not in bad shape, man. I mean, like, I mean, I don't know in the ring wise, but he's not in like totally bad shape. And he's been, from all accounts, the reports, he's been in the ring since SummerSlam practicing.
Okay, so let me tell you,
this could be a warm-up match.
Kurt Angle is 49, and he doesn't look great in the ring.
He wasn't bad last year. I don't know why people keep saying he was bad. He wasn't bad last year.
What? By that logic, Triple H is 49 as well, and he looks like he could still definitely go in the ring, like on a real match.
I mean, y'all are underestimating the greatness that is AJ Styles. Dude can make a broom look good in the ring. I mean, we already saw it with James Ellsworth. AJ will make this a good, compelling match, bro. Sweet Chin Music versus the Styles Clash. Come on, bro. Sign me up. Undertaker versus Sting, WrestleMania. Get this match on the card because we ready to
Okay.
go.
Before we wrap up, would you really want to see an Undertaker versus Sting match?
I do, man. I do. It's not.
That's bad.
If it's gonna be his final match,
But we don't
I want
have
it to
final
be with
matches
Sting.
in wrestling. HBK is a
You-
prime example. Undertaker's
do.
another example. Ric
Which
Flair's
are-
another example.
Ric Flair didn't have another match after Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, he did in
And he-
TNA. He had another match
No.
in TNA. Yeah, he did.
That was after TNA.
No, Ric Flair left WWE. That was it. Whatever. Then he had some matches in TNA. Shawn
Yeah,
Michaels.
He had some
that
matches
was
in TNA, and then he came back and fought Shawn Michaels.
no. The TNA stuff was after he retired against Shawn Michaels because he was with WWE forever before that. And then Taker loses the streak, and you're like, and then he hangs up the gloves in the ring, and you're like, oh man. Damn,
Yeah,
Taker.
but we knew that Roman Reigns wasn't the right person to hand the torch over. That spot should have been reserved for Bray Wyatt, and you know it.
Oh yeah, or John Cena at some point when he was in his prime. There's a bunch of people, but there's no such thing as real retiring outside of medical stuff. There's no such thing as real retiring
I don't know, man.
in wrestling, especially when, quite frankly, if like Shawn Michaels hasn't wrestled in forever, but they come at you
Edge
with a
can't.
paycheck. Well, but that's medical. I'm talking
That's true.
like Paige, Edge. They can't come back. But if you retire healthy, and somebody comes at you with a paycheck of 50 grand, 100 grand to fight
But
one
that's-
match,
But that's
can't
not
turn
coming
it
out
down.
of retire. I mean, is that really coming out of retirement, man? It's just
it
like,
is. It is. If you were retired and you do another match, you are not retired.
But
It won't. Michael Jordan retired, came back, won 3 more championships. Michael Jordan retired, came back, played with the Washington Wizards. That's coming out of retirement.
But he didn't come out to play for one match. Like that would be the Michael Jordan equivalent would be like, hey, I'm gonna go and play some street ball with Skip to My Lou. That's not him coming out of retirement. That's just him putting on one performance with Skip to My Lou, and that's it.
Or Game 7 of the finals or something.
Yeah, or Game 7.
But-
Exactly.
Okay,
One night
if you
only.
If you were retired,
One night
you are not
only.
playing anymore. You quit. You're done. But if you come back for one day, you have to unretire to come back for that one day, and then you retire again. Then you're on your second retirement.
So what if he changed his name, and since he fought as HBK, what if he came back and just fought as Sean Hickenbottom? Would that mean coming out of retirement?
Nah, he'd have to come with a whole new gimmick. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Oh man, the things we think of, bro.
Yeah. Did you have anything else you want to cover this week? We covered a lot, man. Great show today. Hell of a show today.
So next week we're not having a live show. Is that?
Well, actually, next week we have a great show. No, it's not going to be your traditional YouTube live show. But when you actually on your Stitcher, Player FM, iTunes, what else are we on? We're on literally every podcast app that you could think of out there outside of Spotify, because Spotify is picky, needless to say, even though that they are letting a bunch of other artists, which is really awesome, indie artists sign up for the to be on the platform. We're on any of the podcast apps. Just It's Real Wrestling Cast. We're the one that's going to pop up first. We do have that many followers and that many listeners, which is pretty awesome. We've come a long way in 2 years. Next week's show, we have actually a really cool show. I'm really excited for this show. Sage Mark, one of our highest rated episodes we've ever done, recaps. It might, it's the second, third, and fourth highest episode we've ever done. Recaps the Mae Young Class. I'll let you fill in, Sage. You're the man kind of running the show.
Good, Goose. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I mean, I'm not good at toting my own stuff, so I mean, you go ahead, bro.
Well, it's a pretty nice recap of the Mae Young Classic. We got our thoughts and our opinions on it. Sage Mark is going to take the lead on that. It's a great show. Last year, some of the highest rated shows we ever had was about a Mae Young Classic review until Dabi Amore showed up randomly on an episode that's our highest, still to this day, our highest rated show of all time. But next week, Mae Young Classic. It's just a breathtaking thought a really, really, really good, breathtaking show on the Mae Young Classic and just the women's movement in general in wrestling. Did you want to chime in anything further on next week's show?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna drop that Mae Young Classic on the audio podcast. So it should have up to episode 4, back to back to back to back. Isn't that a song? Back to back. Oh yeah, that's a
That's the
Nicki
Drake
Minaj song. Back to back, back to the back, back to the back, back to the back. Yeah, so that's gonna be dropping on that pretty soon. So y'all go check that out. But we're not gonna have a live show next week. Ben Goosen's got a little something special going on behind the scenes. Your boy Sage the Mark, he's parched, needs some lemonade, so he needs some time off. And that's about it.
Yeah. Ben Goosen won't have internet next week. Let's get real. We're gonna break kayfabe here and get real with it. Ben Goosen does not have internet next week. So he's in the middle of a move, but we've planned for it, and we got some really awesome review content coming up. Hey, speaking of which, this weekend, go up and pick up a copy of Black Ops 4. I got to give shout out to one of my good friends. He's going to be doing a 24-hour live stream. Go on to YouTube. Follow my good buddy, friend of the podcast. You saw him here in the chat if you enjoyed the live stream tonight. Mr. Hollywood. Mr. M-I-S-T-E-R space A-L-E-W-O-O-D. It's my good buddy, Ollie. He's out in Hollywood, hence the name Mr. Hollywood. Go ahead and check out his chat. It's going to be streaming 24 hours. Your boy Ben Goosen's going to be in there. So even if you want to talk to your boy Ben Goosen, if you're listening to the podcast this weekend at any given time, just go in there. I'll be in the chat. If you're going to listen to this on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday even, I'll be in his chat. Mr. Hollywood, he's a good buddy of mine, really good friend of the channel, really good friend of the podcast. He's going to be on. He's going to be streaming all weekend, starting with the Black Ops 4 24-hour live stream. He'll be doing zombies and a bunch of other game modes that they have there. Your boy Ben Goosen, Ben Space Goosen, find me on Xbox. I'm going to be on Black Ops 4, which releases as we do this on a Thursday night here in 30 minutes. Oh, by the way, Sage.
I've been waiting for that drop, bro.
I have heard that at day one release, they got a 50 gig patch. I don't know if it's true or not. I'll find out here in 30 minutes. No, I'll find out tomorrow because I'll be in bed. But how great is that? Ain't that's baller status, right? When you release a game and you're like, you get that message. When you get home and you get the disc, you put it in, you install it, and then you go online and you get that message like, man, I'm going to play this. I'm going to stay up all. Oh, I got to download a 50 gig update. Is that not baller
man.
status of Call of Duty?
That's a little rough, man. All I can say is don't do it over Wi-Fi. Y'all get that wire cord, that coaxial wire cord, or Ethernet cord, I'm sorry, the Cat 6E cable. Run it up to your PlayStation or Xbox and get that downloaded because the server's going to be congested. Wi-Fi is not meant to have that type of speed, that up speed there, and you guys are going to be waiting 2 days to get it. So recommend you guys use that Ethernet wire cord to get that downloaded. If you need some help with that, drop your boys a line. I got some extra cables here, so y'all comment and like. I might send some out for free for you guys. So
yeah, why not? The actual cost of those is 6 cents, which is about what we could afford.
Yeah. And
again, your boy Ben Goosen, hit me up on Xbox, send me a request all day. Join my parties. If I'm there, my parties are all. I don't run this private stuff. I'll be on there with, again, my boy, friend of the family, friend of the podcast, Mr. Hollywood, on Black Ops 4 all weekend. I don't know what game mode I'm going to play because there's about 2,756 game modes. And quite frankly, I'm a part of Camper Nation. I sit in a corner in Team Deathmatch, and I just wait for people to come because my reaction time is not that good. Either which way, I am your boy, Ben Goosen. That is your boy, Sage the Mark. You have anything else you want to hit him with this week before we get into some Mae Young Classic next week?
Shout out to Broken Gaming Network and Live Gamer WC. Appreciate y'all supporting your boys channel and getting the word out about us. Not very much, guys. Again, live show in 2 weeks, but we got some special for the audio podcast listeners. So if you're listening to this live, make sure you guys go and subscribe to our audio podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you get it, Podbean, we're all there. Just hit your boys up. It's Real Wrestling Podcast. Let us know what the deal is. Y'all know the drill. Goose.
What drill? Like a 48-bit or 2 1/3 bit?
Again, Goose. Again. God
Yeah.
damn it. I'm out.
Keep it real, gangsters. Hey, what is up? It's your boy Ben Goose. And again, go hit up my friend, Mr. Hollywood. He's a good friend of the podcast, good friend of the show. Mr. Hollywood, type in MISTER space ALEWOOD on YouTube. Hey, the thoughts and opinions expressed today are that of the host and not of the IRWP. Hey, at Real WrestleCast, we're not that hard to find. Oh man, that's a botch right there. If I was live on Raw, I'd be fired. Hit us up at Real WrestleCast on Twitter, on YouTube. Go ahead and just type in It's Real WrestleCast. We're not that hard to find. We do this live every Thursday night, so if you want to join us with the live chat, we put out the podcast unedited every single week. It's the live feed, simply brought to you, iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM, all your major podcast apps. Again, it's your boy Ben Goose, and hit me up on Xbox, Ben space Goose, and I'll be on Black Ops 4. Join your boy all weekend. Live open chats with Mr. Hollywood. Again, keep it real.